Why Star Trek? TNG movies could never top First Contact. When Star Trek First Contact hit theaters in 1996, it was clear that something special had happened. The eighth film in the franchise and the second to feature the Star Trek, The Next Generation crew, First Contact was thrilling, cinematic, emotionally resonant, and, perhaps most crucially, undeniably cool. It balanced cerebral science fiction with blockbuster action in a way no other TNG film managed. Despite several more entries featuring Captain Picard and his crew, none ever topped First Contact. But why? The answer lies in a perfect storm of timing, tone, and thematic focus, elements that later films could never replicate. The Borg were the perfect villains. One of the reasons First Contact succeeded where other TNG movies faltered was its choice of villain. The Borg were already terrifying when they first appeared on The Next Generation, but First Contact amplified their menace with cinematic intensity. The film smartly humanized the threat by introducing the Borg Queen, a character who brought eerie sensuality and philosophical weight to the collective. Most importantly, the Borg forced Captain Picard to confront his darkest trauma. His assimilation as Locutus in the series had left deep psychological scars, and First Contact explored that trauma in a compelling and personal way. Unlike later films that often gave Picard generic action hero arcs, First Contact let him be flawed, angry, and vengeful, allowing Patrick Stewart to give one of his most powerful performances. The right balance of action and intellect. First Contact succeeded in blending the intellectual and the visceral. There were thrilling set pieces, the zero-gravity hull walk, the escape through the Jeffries tubes, and the explosive finale in engineering, but all of it was grounded in character motivation and thematic resonance. Compare that to Insurrection or Nemesis, which either felt like extended television episodes Insurrection or tried too hard to imitate other sci-fi blockbusters Nemesis. First Contact found the rare balance that respected the thoughtful spirit of Star Trek while delivering popcorn-worthy thrills. A bold visual upgrade. While Generations looked like a slightly shinier episode of TNG, First Contact was the first time the crew truly got the big screen treatment. The sets were redesigned with cinematic flair, the lighting was moodier and more atmospheric, and the visual effects, especially the upgraded Borg and the sleek new Enterprise E, were cutting edge for their time. Director Jonathan Frakes brought a sharp eye and natural understanding of the franchise's tone, resulting in a visually dynamic film that still felt authentically Trek. Future entries struggled to recapture this visual identity. Insurrection looked bland and sun-drenched, while Nemesis leaned so far into darkness it lost the visual clarity First Contact nailed. The strong supporting cast. First Contact also benefited from great supporting characters. James Cromwell's portrayal of Zefram Cochrane brought heart and humor, grounding the film's time travel subplot in human emotion. Alfred Woodard's Lily was a standout, smart, fearless, and not afraid to challenge Picard directly. Their scenes together, especially the one where she confronts his obsession with revenge, added dramatic weight the later films sorely lacked. Subsequent TNG films failed to introduce similarly memorable new characters. Insurrection's Anij was forgettable, and Nemesis's Shinzen, despite Tom Hardy's best efforts, never felt as threatening or philosophically interesting as the Borg Queen. The stakes were personal and universal. First Contact managed to make its stakes both cosmic and deeply personal. Humanity's first warp flight and first contact with the Vulcans were history-making events. But these events were never abstract. They were directly tied to the characters' journeys. Picard's internal war with the Borg, Data's temptation by the Queen, and Riker's mission to ensure Cochrane's launch all served the broader narrative. Later films either leaned too heavily into philosophical musings Insurrection or tried to force emotional drama that didn't feel earned Nemesis's clone storyline. First Contact felt organic. It was science fiction with soul. Timing was everything. Finally, First Contact came out at the perfect moment. The TNG crew was still fresh in fans' minds after their series finale just 2 years earlier. Nostalgia hadn't fully taken hold yet, and there was genuine excitement about seeing them on the big screen in a story that didn't rely on legacy characters like Kirk. By the time Insurrection and Nemesis were released, the shine had started to wear off. The scripts grew thinner, the characters more static, and the franchise seemed to struggle with what to do next. First Contact captured lightning in a bottle. Once that moment passed, it was impossible to replicate.